Hello, 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 hello. Greetings, hello, welcome, hi. It's your boy Dr. Tune. I'm the Dr. Tunes. You're now tuned in for another episode of Tune TV with your boy Dr. Tune, Dr. the Tunes. Shout out to y'all. I put out some new music. I ain't fixed my link in bio, but I'm gonna fix it and I'm gonna put it out and all that. Thank y'all for everybody for listening. All right, so hope everybody's having fun in the sun, but school's back and all that, so people aren't in the sun anymore, unfortunately. I'm getting off topic. Now to get back on topic. All right, so my condolences. There is a mass shooting, school shooting down the street from my house, and it's actually garnered national attention, which I was like, OMG, that's crazy. Shout out to everybody for joining. So I'm gonna give my condolences. Shout out to not shout out. My heart goes out to everyone who dealt with that experience and is dealing with negativity, loss, shock, confusion, and all that. You know, we should stop gun violence, but we're in the cowboy state here in lovely old Georgia, where everybody can have their 2x4 big old stick and Thule. So, you know, they got it, they using it. I feel like we should have some rules about access of firearms to minors. People want to get rid of assault rifles in general. I disagree to that because then all the criminals will have assault rifles and would terrorize the public. That's a personal theory of mine. You may think elsewhere, but some viral moments already coming out of this, pretty much because this one teen said they didn't even know that a shooting was happening because they were bumping Ken Carson, and people were saying he's cloud chasing. He wants to get samples so bad, but listen, he could have validly have not heard what was going on and was bumping Ken Carson validly. So I'd be like, all that could be the case. And you know, shout out to the younger folks. You know, my birthday just passed. I'm 27. I feel like unk now, but you know, people be bumping Kit Carson, bro. Like, what do you say to this? All right, so what do you say to this?
Here? Oh, so I just heard gunshots like going off. I had my AirPods on full blast. I was blasting Ken Carson, and I heard like gunshots go off, and I was like, "Oh crap!" My friend like pushed me to the ground. I thought it was fake until I heard like more gunshots and screaming. I was like, "Oh!" And then yeah, they pushed me off to the side, and they came in there with told us to get our hands up. So we like got out, and we were walking out, and then we walked past, and like there was a room, and then there was a body, and there was like the gun laying on the ground, with, like the bullets and the blood.
Wow, somebody laid out guns, bullets, blood already. That's so like shocking and terrifying to hear. Like you would hate for that to happen in any context. If you just, you know, you're in school doing your whatever, you waiting for song, your day to be over, you bumping your music, you in your own lane, you zoned out, you doing what you gonna do, and then all of a sudden, fa. Like, come on, bro. That's not how you trying to go out, bro. People ain't trying to live like that. So my heart goes out to those people involved. RIP to the victims. Um it was like 5 people that passed away, both students and teachers. So, you know, I want to give my condolences to those people. Also, people might still be injured and are currently, you know, touch and go to those people. I also hope for a speedy recovery that you see through to the other side. So, you know, moment of silence for those people. You know, gun violence is something that we have not figured out issue. It's just something we are debating currently in society, and at least in America, where everybody has access to firearms and whatnot. It's like, you know, I don't know. I don't personally see the issue. I'm not the issue. I don't personally see the solution to this issue, but I do understand like it's a problem and we need to figure out something, you know. So I don't know. And it's kind of one of those things, kind of like if you wanted me to get in my side political diatribe, both this and immigration are, see, look, my phone fell. They're valid issues, right? They're both valid issues, but neither but to solve those issues you would have to do so much actual governing, and our government just isn't working. You know what I'm saying? Our government isn't governing. They more or less filibuster and don't govern, which leads to our current version of political instability. When they want to govern, when they want to do their foreign wars, cash their checks and spend money on bloodshed, they're more than willing to do that. That's when government works. But you know, outside of that, I feel like our government isn't working. That's why I recommend, if you are voting this election cycle, do not focus so much on the president. Do get involved in your local politics. Do get involved in knowing who your mayor is, your city council. Bro, I can't get it to stay. See that what I was following. If you are watching or listening on YouTube, is my phone. I'm trying to get a stand. I need to get a stand. Let me get a stand. Okay. That's a progress. So, you know. Something to think about. Something to think about. Let me know what y'all opinions are on gun violence issues and things of that nature. If you had all the money, power, and magic powers in the world, what would you do to solve it? I can't get it to stay, and I can't. Anybody keep doing it, so I'm gonna put it right here. And if it falls again, I'm gonna be tight. But that is life. All right, so yeah, let me know what y'all think and how y'all would solve it if you had all the awesome powers in the world. And yeah, now let's move on. Okay, so a whole lot of drama has been unfolding in the social media sphere, dealing with our favorite light skinned big booty baddie, Ice Spice. Ice Spice is in a little bit of hot water due to a tour she's been having, her American leg of the tour. She had a quote unquote friend on tour with her. It hasn't been crack a lacking. These people, so she's been pretty much after her leg is done. She has been activating on social media, just completely blacking out, if you will. And it has led to much moosing in terms of the drama that's been happening. So from my perspective, there's a lot of good takeaways. That's why I like from this, I'm going in a deep dive with this situation, though I also want to know, and everybody involved, that I'm not personally talking about the people, like I'm judging the people. I just like analyzing situations like this is a character in a story, though these are people's real lives, so I try to be respectful. So let us start with Cleotrapa. Cleotrapa has been a friend of Ice Spice since before she blew up. And since after she blew up, she has, in a sense, continued to be friends with her. But some people say she switched up and whatnot. But most people believe that this is a fake friendship for PR reasons. Why are people saying this is a relationship for PR reasons? Because of how Ice Spice has been allegedly been treating darker skinned women. This is a colorism conversation. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm starting off with colorism. If you're not, if you're not in the black community, it's probably in the conversation for y'all. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? So if you have commentary, just understand that hey, this is coming from the black people world. So there's colorism. Colorism is just how the different shades of blackness and what we define as blackness. Like for example, I think Ice Spice is like half Dominican. So mixed black people, mixed people who have one part of their ethnic group being black and are black in facial appearances are considered black in the US, right? We all consider them black. That's why they said Obama is black, even though he has a white mother. That's why we say Kamala Harris is black, even though she has an Indian mother. You could consider those people mixed, but they identify as black. We accept them as black. That is a whole conversation. Light skin also applies to people who have both black parents, black mom and dad, but they are a fair skin complexion. So there's a lot of different things that partake in that. All that falls under light skin. So it gets confusing, and people will play their own.
What can you do, bro?
Like people play their own games and people play their own assumptions, and people do their own things, and it becomes very complicated, especially when we talk about specifically black women. Say colorism has its own look for the black male side, but for black women it's specific, with the whole with colorism, with anti-blackness, and specifically I will people call it uh, noir, somewhat noir, femme noir, like anti black women. You feel away racist discrimination towards black women, especially towards dark-skinned black women. We don't talk about the lack of representation of dark-skinned black women in the media, dark-skinned black women in the news, dark-skinned black women in the thank you for listening in the media sphere. We like people typically see this with movies like Tyler Perry movies. You know how Tyler Perry typically depicts dark-skinned women and how he depicts light-skinned women in most of those movies. If you watch Hollywood in general, we watch them under the lens of how they treat the dark-skinned women in the movies and the stereotypes they use versus how they treat the light-skinned black women in the movies and how they're viewed and what they do and how they're perceived and how, it starts to get deep. And the more you watch, the more you see, the more, even in our media, in hip-hop music videos, really do a deep dive in your own spare time. You see this very prevalently in reality TV shows where I feel like there's a lot of colorism that goes on. So this is another example of that. So a lot of people on Twitter and other social media have taken this and have expanded it to the microcosm of colorism in general, which I do not have like the wherewithal to have the full conversation. I'm willing to bring back this topic up in a later podcast with other Black women so that they can also give their voice and perspective, because I feel like that's a conversation that needs to be had, and I feel like it would open up a lot of doors and a lot of perspective. So we are going to go through and see an abridged version of this through what the Shade Room has posted. So what they said is both Cleopatra and Ice Spice had a lot to get off their chest recently. Ice Spice has hopped in on live and addressed controversy following a 5-part video series posted by Cleopatra detailing the lows of their relationship. So pretty much Cleopatra just went and did a 5-part video series about what her experience was on Ice Spice's tour, how she felt about it, and everything that went on. I'm going to be reacting to the part 1 of this, and then we're gonna go from there. If I find other parts, I'll free to lock them down, but I'm not gonna get too deep in the weeds. We're gonna go into part 1 without further ado.
Genuinely liked her. I was like, this girl is so cute. I seen her video on my Explore. She didn't even drop her Bible song yet, and I was so supportive of her.
So so keep in mind, she has known about her. They were friends prior to her blowing up, but you could argue that she was bubbling, she was getting to a certain level of success. But this is a Ice Spice before Munch. This is a pre-Munch Ice Spice and Cleopatra being friends. At least she probably has receipts of this detailing of their friendship. Now we also are going to have a conversation on what you define as friends in the music industry. This is a real touchy subject, what you define as a friend, because as many people say, there are no friends in the music industry. There are very few of those. If you find genuine people, do stick by them and don't do them dirty, because it's very difficult to find genuine people in the entertainment business in general, because everybody's a crazy person. They're all creatives, and that leads them to being a little unhinged. And because they're unhinged, they're probably going to be fake and a little backstabby and kind of nuts. You feel me? So that's something to consider. That's something you got to acknowledge when you deal with people that are doing the same thing you're doing in the industry that you're doing, and the levels of success might be different, and everybody's trying to climb and crabs in the bucket mentality to the top. It gets tricky. Are they your friend for real? I don't know.
Now, anyways, I'm just going to tell the story because you guys deserve to know. You guys deserve to know why we are not friends anymore, because a lot of y'all loved us being together. You guys do deserve to know why we're not.
Also hear that part. She said y'all loved us being together. That's why a lot of people are saying that this is a PR move because of how Ice Spice has treated her other dark-skinned friends. There's another dark-skinned friend called Baby Storm, but Baby Storm is pretty much a crazy lady. If you ever look up Baby Storm and see her social media posts, her views, her opinions, people didn't really take her seriously or her views and stuff seriously due to her, the person. But Cleopatra is somebody who hasn't been as controversial, and so that has been a deeper reason to take her seriously. Also, the amount of details that she has said, it's kind of hard to make all that up. And then there's also other corroborating statements. So we'll continue with that as we continue on with this deep dive.
Not friends. Y'all do deserve to know who y'all are so obsessed with, that genuinely liked her.
Yeah, so that was one part. That didn't say everything, but pretty much imagine being called big by someone that was just big. I'm going to bed, bros. And big got y'all gas and fat phobic now. That's one thing. I find the video, let me see.
You sound
some of those. So this is one of hers saying her responding to comments. This is Ice Spices. So she did a whole deep dive. Some of the details in the live were that she got asked to get put on tour at a last minute notice. The friend accepted because that's a big opportunity. She also was pressured by her management to take the opportunity. She took the opportunity. She did not have hotels, food, and people also didn't help her with her luggage moving to and fro. Typically, this is normal. You have to pay for your own accommodation and things of that nature. She talked to Ice Spice about having those things. Do I need to pay for this? Do I need to pay for that? Should I Should I do these things? Should I prepare this for myself? Ice Spice said that she would pay for everything. She could just come on her tour. We could share a hotel room, and everything was cool. That was what she was led to believe. She went on the tour. That was not what happened. And so a lot of different things started happening. When she started bringing up that she did not get certain amenities that were promised to her, she then got treated differently on tour. She also, they did not pick up her bags. She had to pick up her own bags. She had to figure out her hotel situation very last minute. Some people would argue that, hey, maybe you should have said, I'm going to join you later in the tour when my logistics are figured out. But at the same time, I would not have promised, if I was Ice Spice, the headline, I would not promise I was going to pay for things for you, help you out, and do these things, and then not do them. See, that kind of goes against, common sense. You say you're going to do certain things for me. It is time to do things that you want to do. You're not doing them. So this is Ice Spice responding to those things. I'm going to go back. We're going to go and try to find what Cleo Trap had to say, but this is what Ice Spice had to say, because she started talking and it wasn't very beneficial for her.
You do, bro. It's like, damn. Crash outs and they going on rants, bro. Crash outs and they going on rants. Though at the end of the day, it's whatever, bro. Like this comes with it, like y'all see clearly this will come with it, bro, right? So but the whole thing that's blowing me right now is like talking about some dark energy, trying to compare a tour bus to a slave ship. Like, what are you talking about right now? What? That is crazy to me, bro. That's so crazy to me. Like, you're really gonna be friends with somebody for 2 years, but the whole time you feel like they soulless and dark. Like, what can you do, bro? It's like, damn. Crash outs and they going dumb as hell. If anything, we both need saving. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, we was at the movie theaters. We was siphon. You not gonna tell the people how we was at an Italian restaurant and you ate so much food, you vacuum, that the server was like, where did the food go? Like, stop it right now. You talking about
She can't be hungry?
she ain't let me to the back of her room on her tour bus. She had this big room. Can I play with my one time?
Okay, so this is what another thing people are coming under fire for. So you promised that she could have a room, and then your Ice Spice's response is, I want to play with my cootie cat. Why can I at least have one opportunity to play with my cootie cat? That is a crazy excuse. And even if that was the case, Shorty couldn't get her own room. You couldn't arrange that. You couldn't help her arrange that. You couldn't have been instrumental to that. Now, granted, in general, this is a conversation between manager and manager, not artist to artist. So for people to believe that, I agree to that. But the fact that I had to get to this, if I was Ice Spice manager, I'm taking her phone. Because she also is saying all type of other stuff. So she said that. She said, what else? She said, what should I have for lunch? She said, what should I have for dinner? Steakhouse or chicken salad? In reference to the fact that she was not fed on tour. So now you're doing quote tweets. It's getting messy. So Baby Storm is the other friend, former friend of Ice Spice. And she said that I tried to warn you and you just threatened to beat me up. Nevertheless, I'm sorry that happened to you. So that was Baby Storm taking little jabs here and there. So yeah, it's getting a little crazy. So that's a little teaser. But now let's go even deeper into what was said and how was it said? What were the parts? What's the deep dive? We're gonna find it right here on Tune TV, y'all. So let's find these videos. People on her team. Okay, this is part 1. I got part 1 and 2 queued up. Let's see what they talking about. All right, so it's getting crazy, y'all. But let me know how y'all would react if you're in this situation, because also the manager had a lot to say about this as well, and how they chose to go about doing things. So that was another thing that happened too. So it's from a business standpoint, I'd be hearing what people are saying. But if that's really your friend, if that is supposed to be your friend, are you gonna let your friend starve? No. Are you gonna let your friend go out like this? No, most people, if that was really your friend, you would not let them go out like that, you know? So that's why I be saying, hey, are these people really your friends? Are they not your friends? You know, that's something you really got to account for. So yeah, let's go into what she had to say, at least in part one. Mm-mm.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cleo. So y'all know me. I've always been vocal about okay, and nobody's gonna do that to me. This video isn't to bash anyone. This is for me to speak on my experience and what I went through. And
I will say, you are discontent about what happened, so you are getting your shit off, which could be considered bashing to some people, you know. So I want to keep it, keep it fair.
I know me. I've always been vocal about everything, about literally everything. Nobody can shut me up. Nobody can. What's up, y'all? My followers, my supporters, my future fans, followers, supporters. You don't even have to like me. I want y'all to literally take this situation that I'm about to break down to y'all and be inspired by it and understand that no matter what the opportunity is, nobody should make you feel less than or make you feel like shit because they gave you an opportunity.
And I feel like that is an important thing too. This is also a reference to the Lil Yachty situation, how he's doing his team members in both his friend Mitch with the podcast and also the Concrete Boys. He also was belittling the people he gave an opportunity to. If you are going to give somebody an opportunity, and even if they bite the hand that feeds them, they go and bite your hand, I do not feel like that gives you the right to then belittle them and shit on them, you know, because somebody had to put Lil Yachty on, someone had to put Ice Spice on, everybody had to get put on to a certain degree. Everybody had to get, even if they went viral. It's not like you just knew the business acumen to generate income off of you going viral. You need a team of people around you to help facilitate that. So, all that to be said, you should treat people well. It always benefits you to treat people well. You'll go further treating people well than not treating people well. And this is another example of that. So, I want that to always be acknowledged. If you're a person who's doing the entertainment industry, or if you're a person who's doing business in general and trying to do business at a high level, business is a people activity, and that requires you to, deal with people at a good you know how to talk to people well, treat people well, because people are petty and will remember the things that was negative before they remember the things that are positive. That's why it's always good to leave a positive experience with them.
It does not matter. It does not give a door, an open way for somebody to try to humiliate you or try to make you feel less than. And
I feel like that, but what she said though, I do feel like you should acknowledge that there are no free lunches, right? There is a cost to everything, right? So even if it appears to be free, or a quote unquote opportunity appears to be there's no strings attached, even being treated less than is a cost. Your dignity, your feelings, those are other costs that you should account for. So when people say there is no free lunch and everything has a cost, your mental health, your feelings are also a cost, and that should be accounted for. That's something that you should acknowledge before you go into an opportunity. If you see somebody's character and you do not like their character, but they're giving you an opportunity, perhaps do not take that opportunity, because if you see and know their character and you do not have the wherewithal to deal with the circumstances and deal with the blowback that comes with somebody's negative personality traits, then perhaps you do not want to deal with that person. So something to acknowledge.
As though being such a confident Black woman, I'm sorry. I didn't look, I'm ashy as fuck as a Black woman. I didn't even want to start tearing, okay? Anyways, as a Black woman, a confident one who knows exactly who she is and exactly what she wants in this world, people are so intimidated by it. And it's either you're intimidated and scared of it, or you love it and you just love it. You know what I'm saying?
I personally, there's two sides to the confident Black woman personality type. So the word intimidated, I feel like, is an overused word. And I feel like we need a different word for that, because like she said, that is true, that if you are in the presence of a truly confident, within their own power, knowledge of self Black woman, that could be a very intense experience for somebody that is not used to intense personalities, right? So that may be just annoying to people, or it may be very fulfilling, and you get, and that positive energy and that good, like, loving Black woman energy is very uplifting. It can do a lot for your, like, your sanity, mental, all that. So it's two sides um of that. And I could hear what she's saying of people being intimidated and threatened by that, and how they side eye and how they will treat you after that is a valid critique. But the word intimidate, I feel like, is used as a talking point to justify behavior that I feel like isn't justifiable, which that's just like in general. I'm not talking about her and her experience or what she's about to talk about, but I just feel like that word's kind of played out, and I feel like we need a new word.
Unfortunately, I was around somebody who was clearly intimidated by me, like, and just who I am as a person. And at first, it might have been something that they liked, but as you can see, I only go up, and I could be seen as a threat to somebody who clearly isn't confident.
That part is true. How in this context, being intimidated in the entertainment business and how she may feel is valid. She actually looked up her music. Her music's good, way better than Ice Spice music. She can actually rap for real. She can actually perform for real. So for someone that's like who's seeing that, Ice Spice might be threatened by that. I think that's actually valid. I feel like she could feel both intimidated and threatened by an actually talented opener that might even be stealing some of your crowd for real. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real, we know a lot of what we see Ice Spice for is for her throwing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we listening to her lyrics? Are we compelled by her songwriting capability? Nah, we want to see her throw something. You know what I'm saying? So, and versus her to an artist like her who can really perform for real and really got lyrics for real. Yeah, like, you know, we know what an imposter looks like versus the real if you played Among Us. But yeah, let's keep it going.
I can fall out with a friend over miscommunications, misunderstandings. That's okay. You know, we can work it out. Honestly, it's not something that is like has to end everything. You know what I'm saying? But you actually have one time to show me that you are jealous, intimidated, untrustworthy, fake, disloyal, and genuine, manipulative, and calculated. And I promise you that will be the last time you ever play with me. Now I will break down how it ended. And for a lot of people that don't know, me and Ice did not grow up together. That is not my childhood friend. I met her 2 years ago. Before she blew up, I was very supportive of her. Before she even blew up, I was somebody that genuinely liked her. I was like, this girl is so cute. I seen her video on my Explore. She didn't even drop her viral song yet. And I
So yeah, pretty much she's only been friends with her prior to her, like slightly prior to her being famous. So it's like, is that your friend for real, or is that somebody like you? Like, there's levels to friendship. Like, there's childhood friend, like, you know me my whole life. There's friend like, oh, we are friends in college. Oh, that's my college friend. Oh, we got real close. There's like your work friend. There's different types of friends. So like we use friend a little too loosely. And also, like, let's bring back like acquaintance. Let's bring back that word too.
was so supportive of her.
Twin.
Now, anyways, I'm just going to tell the story because you guys deserve to know. You guys deserve to know why we are not friends anymore.
It's like 3:40 in and the story hasn't started yet. I'm sorry, y'all.
Because a lot of y'all loved us being together. You guys do deserve to know why we're not friends. Y'all do deserve to know who y'all are so obsessed with. Y'all love her so much. Y'all deserve to know who that girl is as an actual human being. As an actual human being. Fuck looks. Fuck looks. Fuck all of that.
Hey man, that's a different thing to overcome, yo. The looks aspect. Because like if you're not a personality for real, which I don't look at Ice Spice as like a real personality. But yeah, man, you can get like if your personality is your looks and appearance and things associated with your looks and appearance, like as a pretty woman, you can get real far and not even like dig deep into you as a person because you can just obfuscate and reference yourself in a certain light and deflect and just do pretty activity to where like the regular average person isn't going to look past that layer, especially if you're a celebrity. So you got celebrity mystique and then peel that back. I'm still a pretty girl. And then you peel that back, then you get the person. That's a lot of layers. Most people ain't gonna peel that back. So yeah, So she's asking you I ain't gonna lie, that's a tall task. But we're gonna try. See if they're gonna do it.
As a human being at your soul, y'all deserve to know. So the ending of July, I get a call from Ice very early in the morning. Cleo, come on tour with me. I miss you. Come. And I'm just like, girl, I'm not about to come on tour with you and watch you perform all month. Like, I got a nigga. I got stuff that I could be doing. I could be getting money. I have opportunities in New York. I have brand.
Okay, so she first said no. So that's another thing. It's not like she was thirsty to go on tour. I have other bread I can be making. I have other things to do. So that's good, important. I first said no. What did she say after that?
I have things that I need to focus on. So for me to travel all over the United States with you to watch you perform kind of crazy. She's like, no, I want you to perform. And I gagged. You want me to perform? She ain't never, ever brought me out on stage.
She never brought her out on stage, and they've been friends her whole blow up, and she knows that she's an independent artist. Isn't that kind of strange that she never asked her to go on tour even prior to this? Something to say.
I was like, oh, wait. Okay. Like, I guess this girl, and in my head, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I guess she's really trying to make up for that fake shit that got exposed like a month ago. Like, she's really trying to, like, be a actual friend because that shit was weird as fuck. And I checked her about that shit. And even for her to apologize was like pulling teeth. Like, girl, you got caught calling your friend jealous for no fucking reason. And her.
This is a reference to the Baby Storm thing. And people were also saying, like, yeah, you're kind of strange. And people started alluding immediately to colorism. Like I said prior, that, how you deal with dark skinned women kind of a little strange. Being a little strange out here. So people are deciding that this is PR. Even her first instinct was like, you're doing this now and you never did this before. Even after what happened, this kind of seemed a little fishy. I don't know what this is about. So she was skeptical. She had a right to be skeptical, but at the end of the day, the lights be blinding, y'all. So she went for it. But in general, would you have went for it? I probably would. Most people would have went for it. I don't deny that. If I had a friend who just got on, I'm cool with them, and they're like, oh, come on tour, I probably would have went on tour. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna even deny that.
Excuse was that I didn't speak up when I was asked if she was Nigerian. Like, girl, I met you a month before that video. I didn't even know you was Nigerian. So that was kind of weird to me too, that she was upset at me for not knowing if she was Nigerian. And she said that you could have at least said I was black. Like, girl, I didn't even know you. Am I your PR? Am I supposed to be?
And that's another thing. Your friends are not your PR. Unless you ask them to be your PR. So you want them to instinctively be like, oh, defend my blackness now? I have to defend your ethnic identity. I don't know your ethnic identity. I don't know if you're Rachel Dolezal. All these guys could be whole just straight Dominican, Puerto Rican, and not even be black. And like, who would know that? You feel me? Like, I have no way of knowing that, So that's a valid thing. Like, I don't know that. Like,
Clearing up every time somebody's asking about you being black or Nigerian. Like, that's not my role. And I don't even know you. So I was so confused. Anyways, we moved past. Anyways, after that situation that had happened, with her ex-best friend exposing her for calling like just about everybody jealous, that was kind of like sick too. Because why do you think everybody's jealous of you? She literally tried to link me being jealous of her with that interview of me not knowing if she was Nigerian. And I'm just like, girl, are you crazy? And she never said that she felt the way. And it was just like, I didn't even know that she was mad at me. She's just in messages talking about me. So she tells me, like, I think everybody's jealous of me. Don't take offense to it. I say that about everybody. I'd say that everybody.
So her immediate assumption is that everybody is jealous of her, which, that celebrity mentality is kind of already getting to her head. There's also showing like narcissism, that your first assumption to throw at somebody is that they are jealous of you. It's kind of nuts. I understand why she would feel that way, but I feel like that's still like a crazy thing to think. Like your immediate assumption is that, without even asking how they feel about situations. So yeah, that's like crazy context.
Everybody's jealous of me. I even say that about my mom. Like that's kind of sick. But okay. Fast forward though, I started thinking that a lot of the things that Ice was doing was calculated. Like even the thing after her best friend exposing her, it was like, oh, like let's go to the basketball game. Come with me to this basketball game. I'm thinking like, oh, she just wanted me to come with her to a basketball game. Like maybe she's trying to make it up. I don't know why I kept thinking like she was trying to make it up for being like caught being fake. But it was just like, even the basketball game, it was like one day later, she's like dropping a song. It's like every time she's like inviting me out, because we never chilled on some like chill shit, bro.
Yeah, so that's another thing. She's talking about like whenever they went to hang out, it was always in the public eye. It was not hanging out for like, oh, let's just go hang at my place. Ain't nobody gotta be no cameras, none of that. We can just hang out. It was let's hang out in a public situation where everybody can see I'm friends with a dark skinned black girl, and then let me drop a song. Or oh, let me do something, let me promote something, let me do. So it definitely felt like, for her perspective, that you're only using me as promotion, which is odd. Using people as promotion is odd. And even if you were doing that, you ain't gonna break me off a little something from doing your little. If you're using me as just PR, if you're using my likeness and image to benefit you in a monetary sense, I feel like you could run me a check,
Like it was never like there's some chill. It was always like in the blogs the next day and the song is dropping too. So it was like, what? This girl kind of uses me for her rollouts. So I'm just like, okay. When the tour thing came out, I'm like, oh, she's actually trying to like give me something now. Like, okay. She's trying to make it up. She's trying to.
Okay, so from that perspective, like I said, I would want to pay out. I want something. I'm giving you a lot of cachet with my image. I want to pay out. From her perspective, she felt like her asking her to be on tour is a part of the payout, because that is very helpful for her career. It gives her a lot of promotion, which would also turn into streams or at least more fans. So she's valid. That's a valid perspective. But I remember, even though she had that thought, she was also thinking, it's kind of last minute. It's kind of, I have other things I have to do. And this is kind of strange. So, this is something about something to consider, that she was of two minds. She wasn't just going for it. She was not just a gullible artist. She actually was thinking through her decision, and, let's keep it going.
The word, she's trying to be an actual good friend. I made a flyer announcing that I was going to be coming on tour with her. It did not even get reposted. It didn't even.
She ain't even repost a flyer. That's crazy.
Even get a comment or like, and she was tagged in it.
She was tagged in it, so she saw it and she even like and reposted. And you asked me to be on tour. Like, this is already starting to be, what's going on?
The bill, it didn't even have my name on it. Like just about no.
Yo, her name wasn't even on the bill. If I'm an opener and my name ain't on the bill, like that's crazy. I need my name to be on the bill. I need people to see that I am on the show. Like this is when it starts to get a little nutty. And these are little things. These are very fixable issues. So when later we're going to see the her Ice Spice manager do a lot of pleas, but these are details that we're tabulating right now, that hey, these are certain that on the logistics side, on his end, he could have done. And these all these things could have been done prior to. So let me know what y'all think about this. Is this valid? Is this something, nothing, anything? Let's continue. We're in a deep dive with the Ice Spice. We deep dive.
Nobody knew I was coming on tour. It was like a special guest. Like she didn't even like shine any sort of like her own light on me. It was like kind of like all me. Like I want my fans to come out. Like she didn't really try to like mesh me in with her actual fan base or try to like put her fan base onto me. Very calculated, you know?
And typically you would want that someone to do that for you, if you're going on tour with someone. She doesn't have to do like ingratiate all of her fans with her. She doesn't have to do that, but I do feel like her name not being on the flyer is something, because typically when people say special guest, it's like, oh, I'm bringing out Drake. Oh, I'm bringing out like it's a special guest because they're like a special guest. You feel me? Like then you're not. Then it's like OMG, they put out this person. Like, but for openers and whatnot, like their name is not known, so their name needs to be put on the flyer like that. That's really throwing me. The name on the flyer thing, that's throwing me. Yeah, that's throwing me.
It was just given like, oh, let's let Cleo eat, but we gonna give her crumbs. Like we gonna shine light on her, but let's dim it. You know what I'm saying? It just gave that so much. Online says the show starts at 8. It would even say 9 sometimes. And guess what time I was going on? At 7:30, 7:45. I was going on before the show starts. So that was kind of weird in itself.
Okay, that's another thing to be said. Is the flyers are posting information. You're misleading people and giving false information on these flyers. I would feel a way about. That's a valid thing to feel a way about. I would want to be put on the flyer. I don't want people to know, my fans to know, that they should come to see me, even if outside of Ice Spice fan. My fan, people, I want my fans to know I'm on tour with Ice Spice. I want my fans to see me. I want my fans to know when they would want to see me. Like, I would want that. So this is me as an artist thinking now, like, I would need all that. I would need that information to be spread. And that the fact that it is not, the flyers are not saying that, it's kind of strange.
I had no idea what to expect going on tour. I had no idea until I got on tour and started seeing certain things. And I'm just like, wait, why don't I have that? I didn't have a room. I was told I was going to be with her, but I didn't have a room. No room for me backstage at all. I was in her dressing room. I didn't have no writer. I was with her. And before I came on tour, I asked her, what were the things?
Now, typically on tour, the headliner and opener will be treated differently. I do not feel like she inherently needs her own dressing room, but an arrangement should be made for her, though. I do feel like an arrangement should be made for her outside of that. If she told you that she was going to have you on tour with her and you're going to be provided for, if that's what was the agreed upon thing, okay. In general, I would have gotten that in writing so that I could dispute that as a contract point, because in general, you shouldn't trust handshake agreements unless you really trust that person. And from what Cleotrap is saying, part of her doesn't fully trust Ice Spice. So if you do not fully trust this person, then you should just leave it up to the business side, right? You should put it up to the business side, have everything in writing, and then move on from there. The fact that she couldn't have it, that she didn't have it all in writing, kind of is hurting her argument. But I do understand the sentiment of what she's saying, and I understand her her. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, because part of me wants to say she's using this friend angle as a talking point, and let's just say that for argument's sake she is. I agree with her using the friend talking point. I feel like her friend talking point is valid. Her business, on the business side, if you have complaints about that, which I feel like you should have certain things in writing, I feel like you should have certain things already agreed upon, so that there is no thing like, hey, the contract says this, I need this, and this. The contract says this, I need this. This is what I signed, and I will dispute this in court. That lends me. But because she's using her friend talking point, it's hard to say all that because she trusted her friend, right? So, I feel what y'all say. I hear what she's saying, but I feel like she also should have had her ducks in a row on the business side as well. So let me know what y'all think.
Things that I was going to have to pay for, because this is so last minute. Like, you're only giving me one day to prepare. Like, it's July 30 something and we going on tour August 1st. Like, girl, like literally one day. So I'm just like, what do?
So yeah, in general, that's too last minute. And she probably should have waited. I will meet you at this date on tour. Like, I can't jump immediately on tour with you, but let me like meet you on this date, and then we work from there. But teaches on.
Do I have to pay for it? Nothing. You're gonna be with me. You're good. You're gonna be with me.
All right, so I'm gonna run that back. She said, "Do I need to pay for it?" She even asked for her, "What do I need to account for? What do I need to pay for? What do I need to?" So that again puts a wrinkle in what will be latter said by how the PR and the manager is coming, trying to say something else, because she is saying, "Do I need to?" Touring is an expensive endeavor, and a lot of people be losing money on tour because they didn't properly plan out their logistics for touring, which is that's how it be. Like, touring ain't cheap, so that's one angle. So her asking that, "Hey, do I need to pay for this?" is valid. I would have then furthered that and said, "Okay, I'm gonna have my manager talk to your manager. We can work it out." She didn't do that, but I feel that.
So I was like, okay, everything is handled. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna make the best out of it. I'm gonna make the absolute best out of it. I don't have no dances or nothing. I'm just gonna go out there and do what I can do.
All right, so this is the next. That's part one, and based on part one, what do you think? She said that
So
she would have things already pre-planned for her and things not pre-planned for her. But she just went off her word, right? She just went off the strength. I don't feel like she should have went off the strength. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think she should have went off the strength? I don't went off the strength either, especially because she's referencing other things that Ice Spice did that would be considered as fake, that would be considered as not trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? So all that lends me to believe that if you feel hesitant about being like traveling with this person, then you need to have some type of contractual agreement. I also feel like touring with someone is like a combination of like living with someone and traveling with someone. So that's why I feel like there needs to be a certain level of either trust, paperwork, or both before you go on tour with someone. Because if you don't know them, you gonna know them on tour. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know them before, after the tour, you will know them. Similar to living with someone or traveling with someone. That's why you can't be on tour with anyone, shouldn't travel with someone, shouldn't live with everyone.
well, that's that. I'll tell y'all how the tour went now. Please keep in mind that before I went on tour, I had one day to prepare, one single day. Everything was a rush, but I'm looking at this like, okay, this is gonna be good for me. And again, did not have any, I didn't know what to expect. This is my first tour. Like, I wasn't allowed to bring anybody. She said if I brought anybody, I was gonna have to pay for their hotel and transportation. I'm just like, girl, I didn't even have time to prepare for this. Like, I only got one day. Like, you feel me? Like, it's damn near like me putting everything, like putting my needs to the side to to accomplish something. I have things to pay for myself as an independent artist. So of course I'm thinking like of ways to not come too much out of pocket for a tour that doesn't even have me on the bill. Like, I'm not even on the lineup. Like, okay. Anyways, let's go into how the tour went.
So this again lets me know that she had the independent mindset of already understanding that she needed to have things accommodated and paid for. So there's been a lot of posts about the situation, acting as if she did not already like that she didn't have the mentality of an independent artist of I need to pay for my own accommodations, this, that, the third. She understood that, had that mentality, and even went out of her way to ask, what do I need to accommodate? What do I need? And Ice Spice went out the way to say, you got it. I got you. Everything's gonna be cool. And I feel like the reason why Ice Spice went out the way to say that is because she was not going to be on the tour. It was too last minute. It was a day before, and you're going on tour the next day. She was not going to be on tour without that assurance. She was not coming out of pocket and doing all that for a last minute tour. I feel that. I know that. I just feel it in my bones that she was not coming out of the pocket for that. So So I feel like Ice Spice said what she had to say to get the girl on tour. That's how I feel. I feel like Ice Spice said what she had to say, knowing that she wasn't prepared, knowing that she didn't have it, knowing all that in a bag of chips. She still said whatever she had to say to get the girl to come on tour. That's how I feel. So because of that, I feel like, that's a way. You can live that a certain way. And also, you got to give her credit that she had the mentality of, I understand I got to pay for things. I understand. So, but the only reason she did not make every other preparation is because of Ice Spice's word, which I believe should not have been trusted. And I feel like people should have involved. I feel like manager should have talked, and then she would have went on tour maybe a couple days later. But let me know.
So first couple of days was cute. We went to Philly, and this is when things go left now. Yeah, we're in a hotel room. We're not sure if we're gonna like bring our bags to the venue, because I guess like we were gonna come back to the hotel. But she told me, don't leave your bags at the venue. You might need some. You don't leave your bags at the hotel. You might need something in it. And I was like, okay, I'll bring it. Her security, who brings all her bags, she has like 10 bags. He brought my bag, brought the bags down, and now we're at the venue. And I do need something in the suitcase. Like I had a wardrobe malfunction, like she said I probably would have. That's that she cursed me, okay? Because now I do have a wardrobe malfunction.
See, now we're getting in the weeds. You know what I'm saying? She a good storyteller though. Shout out Cleopatra. Good storyteller. I'm invested.
So I'm like, oh, how can I get the bag? She's like, tell the security to get it for you. I go to the security. I'm like, can you get my bag out the trunk? Because I have no idea where the trunk is, where the car went. We just came into the venue like we artists, we working, whatever. He goes, he gets the bag, brings it upstairs. I change, da da da. End of the show. I put my bag next to her 10 bags and the big black dresser. And yeah, I'm thinking everything is gonna be moved, but like back into the truck, and we could, leave, go back to the hotel. I turned around, and my bag is still there. My bag was still there. All her bags was gone. I'm just like, why would somebody just leave my bag? Like, I'm like, I asked the security, I'm like, can you take my bag? He said no. I was like, what the fuck?
So yeah, that's a weird switch up when you just took it before. See, I thought previously before that her bags were never taken at all. And so the miscommunication was, you need to have your own people take your bags. You need to have that all prearranged for you. But no, she was like, her bags were taken care of at first, and then they no longer did so. So that's like, manipulation, not manipulation, I guess. What's a better word? Deception, because you started doing something and then stopped doing it. So that's kind of strange. That to me, So let me know what you think.
Hold on. He brought all her bags. Okay. I'm like, can I pay somebody to bring my bags down? Because I didn't want to bring the bags down.
And then she's offering to pay someone to do the task for her. She's not acting like, can someone do it? Okay, can I pay someone to do it? I am an independent artist. I understand I got to pay for things. I will pay you right now. What's up? What we trying? So that is another valid thing. What do I got to do right now? Because again, you already brought me up last second. You're telling me I have to call security? I have to just call a security company, a moving company, a touring company, and do this now? Right now in the middle of the tour? It's kind of crazy.
I want to bring the bags down. I'm just a girl. So I'm asking around, nobody's word. So I'm like, all right, let me bring the bags. I'm tight though. I'm tight. Like, I'm not used to this stuff. Like, what the fuck? I'm just supposed to be performing. Need I remind you, I'm not even allowed to bring somebody on tour with me. So I didn't.
And she's not allowed to bring somebody on tour her, because if she did bring them on tour, she had to pay for all their accommodations, and she probably didn't have all the bread for that. Which you can argue, like, hey, maybe she shouldn't have said yes to the tour if she couldn't bring people to help her with moving her things, help her with the tour support, help her with the logistic part of her tour. If she can't bring her own people to do it, then it's kind of that's a difficult tall ask, because I can't do everything myself. So I hear what she's saying, and that's almost like a setup. You feel me? Like, you're already setting her up to fail. I can't bring anyone. I'm calling you last minute to do the tour, And I'm also said I'm gonna have my people help you, but then we're actually at the place, my people aren't gonna help you. So that's a setup. I feel like that's a setup. Like I don't know what else to call that.
Really have anybody helping me. It was just me. Um, but I feel like she could have simply said to the security, like, take Cleo's bag. Don't forget Cleo's bag. But I got a sense that she just wanted me to struggle.
I feel like that was a simple ask as well. Like she could ask her just to do it, and it would have been done. So I mean, that's a very valid ask. I feel like that's a valid ask. That's an easy fix. Hey, keep bringing your shit. Yeah, okay, let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this is like little petty things to do when someone's already like traveled outside of their hometown on the other side. Like you're already in Philly, and they New Yorkers, so I'm already hours away from my spot. And I can't even cancel if I want to. I want to go home now. It's like, no, I'm already out here. Let me do the best I can.
And that's kind of fucked up as like a friend. Like,
yeah, so, and then again, as for the friend talking point, she killing the friend talking point. I ain't gonna lie. Because on the friend side, if that was your friend, would you leave him like that? Nah, you wouldn't do that. So, so I feel that listen, her using the friend talking point, she killing Ice Spice with the friend talk. Because what do you say to that? Ain't nothing you can say about it. Any person in that situation, oh yo, can you get my friends back too? Like, yeah, if you got it like that, if you Ice Spice, hey, that's my friend. Hey, I asked her on tour last minute. I know this is a tall ass to do. I know I want to do. Bring her shit. Valid.
Oh, I carry the bags. I take one duffel bag. I'm walking down. It's pouring outside. I put it in the car. The fans are screaming, Cleo, can we get a picture? Cleo, can we get a picture? As I'm struggling with a bag. And it's like very embarrassing. It's like very embarrassing. Like never do fans want to take a picture with me while I'm like carrying big ass bags looking like that. I had to make a second trip for the suitcase. I made the second trip for the suitcase. Do it again.
And this is while it's raining too. So of course, like that's another part is like the rain part. That's another thing. Like I'm not trying to do all that. I ain't even trying to do all that, and I be moving shit. So that's a tall ass. That's a setup. I feel like this is a setup. This is a setup, and it's raining, and now the fans are ravaging. Now I gotta go do the travel, and I gotta still make it to the hotel, and I gotta get all checked in and straight, and maybe get a couple hours sleep before we back traveling again and going to the next city and doing all that shit again. That's tough.
Again, raining outside, dragging the suitcase, fans in my face. It was so fucking humiliating. I was like, what the fuck? I get in the car, I'm tight. Like, I'm fake drenched and I'm tight. Like, and the car ride is silence. And I know she peeped why I was mad. It's like she just doesn't give a fuck. So we went to the hotel now. When we pull up to the hotel, she's like, oh, like, telling the security guy what bag she wants taken out the car because we was about to go to the hotel so she could take a shower. But it's like, I perform too. I want to take a shower too. So I'm just like, you the only one that's taking a shower. I'm going to take a shower too. She's like, oh, you got to tell him what bags to take out or he's not going to take it. And I'm just thinking to myself, didn't I just tell this guy to bring my bags to the car? And he said no.
So yeah, I feel like that's a setup. Like she's setting her up. Like she said, hey, take these bags, blah, blah. I want to go to, and then now, like the switch up has happened. Like whatever. Now they're on tour. Now she's within Ice Spice's power. See, prior to this was within her power. I could say no to the tour. I could deny all these things. I have a certain amount of say. Now that we've traveled, and my bags and my belongings and all this are within her Ice Spice's power, essentially, because all this logistic apparatus is for Ice Spice. So if Ice Spice says help, they would move. If Ice Spice says don't take her shit, they not taking it, like straight up like that. Like, so I mean, she telling her to like go just tell the nigga, and when she just did it and he said no, it's another setup.
Why would I think that he's going to take my bags out because I said so? It's like she just didn't want to speak for me at all. She just wanted to show that you're here alone, bitch. Like, I'm just like, wow. So I come out the car and I'm just telling the bellman, because at least there's a bellman here, and what bags to take out because I'm going to take a shower too. So we go upstairs and it's like after the show, it kind of gives like a rush vibes because we're trying to like hurry up and get back on the bus. So we're in the hotel room and I had this feeling in my chest. I don't know if anybody else who's a real ass bitch gets this feeling. And it's just a feeling. And I'm just like, I have to say something, because if I don't say something, I'm going to start moving like I don't like her. So I want to at least say how I
Okay, so even then, she tried to communicate like this whole situation at Philly is a lot. You just did a lot right now. So her trying to address that situation is valid. So her trying to talk to Shorty is valid. I feel like, hey, if I'm on tour with you, right, boom, and then you told me I could come on tour with you, and then I'm on tour with you, and now you acting funny. She tried to nip that shit in the butt with you. I recommend anybody to do if you're in a relationship, any type of working relationship, you gotta travel with them, you gotta deal with their personality and all type of shit. Traveling, sleeping in the same vicinity, and then traveling again, and then shower, all that. If you start acting weird, we gotta nip that in the butt expeditiously. We gotta talk about that now. So her trying to talk about that now is also something I gotta give her credit for because she did not let it boil over. And if she continued to stay on tour after that, that's really on her. But at least she addressed it, and then how she moved out of that, it is what it is.
I feel get her take on it instead of being angry and just letting it build up frustration in me. So she's in the shower and I'm like about to take my makeup off so that we can I'm not waiting for her to get out the shower to take my makeup off and it's just delaying us because we're trying to hurry up. So I went to the bathroom, I'm taking my makeup off and I'm like, yo, you asked me to take my bag. I mean, not you asked me. I'm like, yo, you told me to take my bags with me to the venue. You said that it was smart for me to take my bags and the reason why. And you even told me to tell your security to bring the bags upstairs. So why would it be a problem for him to bring the bags back to the car? And she goes, that's my security. He works for me. If he feels like he's doing more work, he's gonna want to get paid more. So I'm like, how much does he want to get paid?
Okay, like that's okay. So now you're switching up, but fair. That's a fair thing. If it's a money issue, how much?
More, because if I'm gonna be with her this whole tour, I will pay him more.
I'll pay you right now. I will pay you right now. What can we do? Trying to solve the situation. This is the issue. This is a solvable issue. How can we fix it?
I'll pay him more to carry my bags. I don't want to be carrying my bags. I don't. Like, y'all seen all the fans seeing me carry my bags? That was crazy to me. So I'm like, all right, we got to figure this out. So, how much you want to get paid more? He's like, he gets paid a flat rate. I'm like, is this girl serious? She said it like she had no idea what flat rate meant. If he gets paid a flat rate, that means that he'll move a house for you. He's getting paid to work for you. He got paid to work for you. He's moving anything you tell him to move. He's moving anything that you tell him to move.
Look, she had to chill out real quick. She was getting too activated. I know she was mad in her brain. Like, okay, so what's how much more? If it's a flat rate, then okay, X amount of bread. Okay, so I'll give you X amount of bread. This is the flat rate to move my shit too. Like that's a very simple thing. It's a very simple fix.
So I'm like, girl, I was carrying them bags out. Like the fans was all in my face. She started making it seem like she understand, like, oh yeah, that's crazy, da da da. But then she goes back to being weird, and she's just like, he can't leave my side. Like he can't leave me. That's why. Like, girl, what you mean he can't leave you? So now I catch her again. She's just weird. I'm just like, what you mean he can't leave you? We was up there waiting for him to bring all your bags. He left you.
Yeah, bro, this is crazy. So you done switched up. Like we just had a conversation about okay, so what we gonna do? And then she wants to switch up. This is my security. Like, okay, people that do that to you, who when you try to have a conversation about something you're discontent with, and then their reply to you is this is mine, do not trust those people. You need to leave those people alone. When you do, because most people, when they have something and they're open to sharing it, they'll just do it. They don't have to go out their way to say that this is mine. If people go do that and then they turn around and be like, well, this is mine, so I'm gonna do not trust those people. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. Based on my even personal experience. Like I'm having flashbacks right now. I'm having flashbacks just hearing this, bro. Just hearing this. And they switch up and they be like, this is mine. Like, okay, never trust those people. Those people will switch up on you. Those are weirdos. Get away from those people, man. Yeah, man. Let's keep it moving.
Several times to bring your bags to the car. He left you a lot of times already. She's like, oh.
And that's also valid. She said my security never leaves my side, but he did to carry your shit, and he did to move other shit, do other shit. Like it's bullshit. She's capping.
Why would I wait for him to bring your bags to the car? I'm like, the conversation was done after that. It was done. I said, Okay, I know the type of girl that I'm dealing with. She's very selfish.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what that means. Yeah, so how she came to that conclusion, she will try to talk after that. I'd have been the exact same way. Oh, we not talking after that. You out, you tweak it. We not doing that. Whatever I gotta do, I'm about to go figure it out because you bugging. Hell no, I ain't about to have this conversation. Yo, dumbass. Hell nah. I feel that. I 1,000% feel what she's saying, and that's just Philly. So these are the parts continue from. There's a part 5 of this. You feel me? Like there's 5 parts of this, and you just got. I could barely get through part 2 without completely losing my mind. Like after that Philly shit, I'm going to fuck home. Honestly, after that. Okay, you're doing that. I'm going home. I need to go home because you're bugging. Hell no. I feel that shit.
Why would we just waited for him to bring your bags? What you mean? Why would we wait for my bags now? Like, girl, what? I got out the bathroom. That was the end of it. I didn't bring up that situation no more. I charged it to the game. And charging something to the game is normally something you do regarding business. But I thought that this girl was my friend. So I'm like,
and that's why people be saying don't mix friends and business, man. Like once y'all in a business setting, fuck that friendship. Remove that shit. You got to move as a business person now because, and she even tried because she tried to negotiate. Okay, that is your security guard's rate to move my shit, to move your shit, move your stuff. I already said shit. It's over with. But to move your things, this is the rate. It's a flat rate. Okay, so I want my stuff moved. Can I negotiate a flat rate? And then she want to counter and be like, he can't leave my side, XYZ. Okay, so yeah, so negotiations have broken down, and so you can no longer do business. That's how I feel. Like at that point, once you put the business stuff on, once you put your business hat on, and she done charges to the game, that should have told her, hey, the business is concluded. We got to keep moving because you tweak it. That's how I would have moved. But she chose to stay on tour for the opportunity to thug it out prior, and then she had more to say in her story. Yeah, I completely feel her up until this point, but if she continues to suffer after that, like that's tough, and I do feel for her. But I'd have left the tour after that because you already done show me your character. You already done show me that you tweak it. So nah, you wildin'.
why would I have to charge something to the game in this situation? Like this is supposed to be my friend, but gradually I start seeing that she wasn't really my friend, and that was like the beginning of it. Now, what I didn't know, which I later learned after bringing up everything I went through to her, I learned that this situation where I said something about my bags was the reason why I got mistreated the entire tour after that. And I had no.
So yeah, this is the impetus to everything else happening on the tour, which I want to get into for real. Like I want to go on to other topics. Let me know what y'all. Let me know if you want me to keep going or not. But yeah, so she said after that it done spiraled into other things happening to how she was treated, and this started from this situation. So to me, this situation is enough for me. I don't need to see no more. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind is made up on the situation. Like Ice Spice done told on herself, and also the manager told on himself. Like we gonna go through with the manager and how everybody else reacting to it and trying to do PR. And Ice Spice, you see, Ice Spice was acting like, can I just play with my cootie cat real quick? Can I just play with my kitty cat real quick? You bugging, shorty. Like, come on, this ain't about that. It's about you gotta take care of your people if you're gonna bring them on tour. Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, I did that. She was so tight at me for saying something because she's the type of person who doesn't like to be. She doesn't want anything said to her. She feels too big. She feels too highly. She's on her.
Yeah, so that's another example of narcissism. You can't deal with people that don't like to be challenged. If I can't challenge you, then yeah, we can't have no relationship because I'm a challenger. There's gonna be things that will need to be discussed and talked about. And if I can't challenge you, then yeah, like you gonna start tweaking out and start doing things against me. You feel like I'm your enemy, I'm your op now over a simple conversation. Like it's nuts, getting crazy. What we doing? Yeah, it's crazy, y'all.
High horse. Nobody can say nothing to her. But that's the type of person I wouldn't want as a friend. Like I don't want a friend that I can't tell about themselves. Like I can't tell you about yourself because you're famous. Like that's sick. It doesn't matter how famous you are. We're still all human beings at the end of the day. And you still could get checked and you still could get told about yourself. Whatever though. So we went to the next places, got back to New York. The New York show was like, I was so like indecisive if I wanted to continue the tour because of the bag situation. And I'm just like, oh, because I'm not gonna have anybody but me and my managers was working on getting somebody like some assistant.
All right, so then it goes on from there.
Silence me.
So
What's up, y'all?
all right, so that's crazy, right? That's enough. That by itself is crazy enough, right? I feel like that kind of shows you at least character by character. But it gets crazier. It gets deeper, yo. It gets wicked. So after that, people are doing damage control. So Ice Spice goes on to Spaces, says a whole bunch of wild stuff to tell on herself. So that was tough. That's a lot going on. You had the stylist come out and corroborate what she was saying, which is, that's tough. If the manager, if the stylist that came through and didn't come and help you. So that's one thing. So you have the manager saying things. Not the manager. You have the stylist coming through and saying things in defense of Cleo. That doesn't help because she was there. That person was there. So, that's one thing. Then you have the manager doing PR. So we're going to start with the manager doing PR, right? W manager, you got to defend your artist at all times, So I don't blame him for saying that, but it also lets me know this makes me believe what she said more. So before I'm like, hearsay, she say, this made me believe what she was talking about, how the manager chose to react to it. And the legalese, I hate when people use certain terms that's like, oh, you trying to argue this in court, like you using court talk. All right, so let's break it down. All right, so this is what happens when an artist team doesn't manage their artist expectations when an opportunity comes in front of them. If you're not prepared for an opportunity, your team is prepared advancing, then that's on them, not on us offering the opportunity, right? So that's one perspective. And on face value, I see what she's saying, but she's literally like asking for like her bags moved and shit. Like, I don't feel like that's a crazy expectation. Hey, can you just move my bags because I'm an artist working? Like, okay. So this person said, this is insane to me because the girl literally asked what was needed from her and was told nothing. So that's somebody tweeting that. It's a valid, very valid comment that I've said. She would have been more ready to have her team and pay expenses, but I literally told her that she'd be paid for. And then multiple times she asked if she was paid for, XYZ happened. This is valid. Now, manager quote tweets it and says, 2 artists can't speak on logistics and business and agree on it same day without proper representation, thoroughly talking through. Management needed to properly advise our client and get ahead of any potential hiccups. I'm not allowing my client to go out on the road without me advancing it. So here's where I feel like he was telling on himself. So you are pretty much saying that you never heard from her manager. You didn't reach out to their manager and they didn't reach out to you. So that's why I'm blaming Cleotrapa. And I'm blaming Ice Spice. And I'm blaming both their management teams. This is messy all around because you didn't make sure that you talked to all the management of all the artists before you went on tour, which is something that, like, as a manager, I feel like you should do. If I was a manager managing Ice Spice and she wanted to bring her friend on tour, like, I would have asked, okay, well, did you talk to the manager? Can I talk to them? Like, that would have been the first question I would have asked. Not just say, oh, okay, well, everything did. Like, so you're told on yourself. That means you had no communication with the manager. You had no communication with the manager. So that's you shooting yourself in the foot. Like, you feel like you're saying a bar, but that's also telling like you did not communicate either. So that's a two-side thing. All right. So former CAA touring agent here. James and his team are 1,000% the right. As an artist, it's understood that you pay your own expenses unless you are contractually offered to have them paid for. And I've never heard of a headliner covering all opener expenses. That's crazy. This part is also true. In general, you're a headliner. You should pay for your own things. Now, Cleotrapa stated multiple times during her video that she asked what needed to be paid for. She asked, what do I need? And Ice Spice said that I would pay for it. So it's not like these expectations are coming out of nowhere. She said that she would pay for them. So yeah. So if he quote tweets, it says, if another bigger artist hit my client and say, come on tour with her or him with 1 day to prepared. As a manager, I would advise my client, this is risky. I would then connect with the other artist management and agent immediately to advance logistics, see if it makes sense to avoid hiccups. So both these quote tweets are basically saying how he did not communicate. Now, is it his responsibility to communicate with the other artist management? You could argue no, but I would argue also yes, because like all of this is your business. This is your tour. This is your main artist tour. So you need to have all your dots and T's crossed and T's, whatever the term is. Like you need to talk to everyone, make sure everything's good. You need to have the checklist checked. So the fact that was not communicated on your end, like it wasn't like he said, oh, they reached out to me or they didn't reach out to me. I tried to reach out to them and nothing was happening. He says nothing about this. He comments nothing about any of this. So that lets me know that you didn't talk to anybody, dude. You didn't talk to anybody and you just let it rock, which lets me know like this is probably you wanted her on tour for PR, but you also didn't care about what happened to her when she was on tour. That's what lets me know. So another person said, got invited to a tour and paid for the bus, my own hotels and gang and food, all that. I sent this out to people, and that was my first reaction to this. The opportunity was being able to be on tour and showcase my music and as an upcoming artist. I couldn't fill those type of venues yet. Grateful, all the industry people quiet right now. Okay, so this was my initial reaction to this right before watching the video. But when you watch the video, after you watch the video, you find out that she expected to pay for things. She was open and willing, honest and open to pay for things. So him saying some artists get it, some artists don't, is PR, bro. This is media. You're using media to shift the narrative and make her act like she was an unprepared artist and expected everything paid for her. She only had those expectations on her because Ice Spice said she was going to have everything paid for. She wasn't even going to go on tour. She was going to say no. She wasn't even going to go on tour in the first place. She was not even going to do any of this shit in the first place, bro. Like none of this was going to happen, bro. But if Ice Spice did say she was going to do that. So wait, all y'all gave 1 day to prepare. We gave her opportunity to showcase her talent to all age crowd. So that doesn't answer the question. So y'all gave her 1 day to prepare? We gave her opportunity. She could have said something in the lines of, hey, this is the last minute invite. I won't come out the next show, but I start on this. But I start on this. I don't know, it's a typo. I can start on this later so our teams can handle logistics. I'd be prepared for it. That's a valid answer. Out of everything he said, this is probably the most valid thing to be said. And if you want to criticize Cleopatra and her team, like this is the biggest like critique is like, okay, well, I cannot do this immediately. If I can have a couple of days in advance, I can do this. Like that's what I would have done. That's what most people would have done. I feel like if you're in that situation. So that's how I feel. But I feel like the only reason she was even going to pop out in general is because iPi says she's going to pay for it. So, that's what her word, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. And then the final post is my team spoke to the artist management this morning. So whenever this was, so recently, after everything, the artist manager said he blames himself because he pushed the client to stay because it was a great opportunity. So I feel like, yeah, her manager is pressuring her to be on the tour and stay on the tour. But he knows his client is 100% wrong. The manager realized his client didn't have the financial backing to be on the tour. So this is after. So this lets me know like those two parts is the manager doing PR. I'm never mad at a manager, WPR attempt at least. You attempted to get in front of the story and to do PR. This is what a good manager should do. Shout out James Roseman Jr. You are protecting your artist. I feel y'all should have took her phone. She started chatting and that didn't do her any favors. What she got for dinner? That didn't. She should also took her phone. I ain't gonna lie. You should also took her phone. But I feel him getting in front of the story. I feel like he did a great job and raised a lot of good points on the business part, on the business end. So that's why I feel like Cleopatra in her video, she did a lot of friendship talking points that's like you can't really say nothing to that. These are good friendship talking points that she said. So the only way you could beat that is by going full business, which is what James did. And a lot of his business points, like this one, like him saying to talk about it in advance so I can make the next one. That's a valid critique. Like, hey, I cannot make this real last minute. I'm gonna go to the next one. That's a valid critique. And him saying that he talked to the person after the fact, is WPR. WPR for saying, hey, I talked to the nigga and he said he blamed himself. And it was 1,000% his fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my team's fault. It was their fault. So WPR, shout out to him. He did good PR. But I also feel like you shot yourself in the foot by saying, like, I would have reached out. And then you only reached out after the fact when they became PR. You didn't reach out until it became an issue, which let me know that you didn't talk to these people at all for the whole tour, which I feel like you should have if you're gonna have artists on tour. Not just as some like basic customer service. You want to make sure everybody's straight because you don't want a situation like this to happen where they're unhappy on tour and they chose to crash out online. You know, so if this is again old mentality of the music industry, because in my opinion, we're in the day and age where anybody can use the internet to say whatever they're gonna say. So if you want good PR, this only makes it even more so they should go out your way to be a good person, even more going out your way to be accommodating, and more out your way to make sure nothing negative is said about you. So maybe in a bygone era, maybe in the 2000s and before that, you could get that off because ain't nobody you could silence all the media outlets and make sure no one says nothing about this, and then they keep it moving. So no one would ever know about this back in the day, but people will know now. If they want to talk about it now, they're gonna know now. So this is like where the industry is like shifting from new to old, because if you have like an old mentality, like, bro, shut up, you fucking opener, bro, like you gotta do what you gotta do and make this money. Like, you be happy, you get paid with opportunity, you getting paid with promotion, you're getting paid in exposure, so what you mean? So that's one end. But you also notice that Cleopatra didn't even talk about getting paid for that or anything. She was happy to just be there. She wanted her bags moved a little bit, and then she felt like she got mistreated after the fact too. So that's one thing. And then another thing is how you did not talk to these people until it became an issue. Now that it's an issue, I gotta do damage control. Like, that's tough, bro. So I'm gonna move on to the next topic. In general, I feel like this was handled poorly for both sides. I feel like on Cleopatra's side, if you knew you felt iffy about going on tour, don't go on the tour. If you had a bad experience after that first couple shows, you are okay to leave the tour after that. Oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I have to leave the tour. Like, that's okay. Like, leave the tour after that. It's much better. That was her learning lesson. It is not worth going through all that to have my dignity like in shambles, to feel negative about myself and not like myself and have all these things. Like, none of that is worth it. This opportunity isn't worth all these negative experiences. So I feel that, and I completely understand that. I hope that as a learning lesson, make sure if you go on tour, have everything in writing. Have everything in writing, not just go on tour like and just expect like however. You have no idea how it's gonna go. You have no idea how it's gonna go. You have no idea like what is gonna happen. You don't know these people as much as you think you know them. So that's my biggest takeaway from that, is that you don't know who you're talking to for real till you talk to them. You don't know these people till you know them, and all that in a bag of chips. So that's something that I feel like should be acknowledged by everybody involved. And also bad management on Cleopatra's side, because you were really pressuring her to stay on tour, even though she probably complained to you that this is a toxic works environment and I don't think I could stay in this. And if I stay here, I'm gonna crash out. You want me to crash out? I'll crash out. I know you don't want me to do that. I'm gonna crash out. You want me to crash out? I'll crash out right now. So that's another thing. Like, you made her want to crash out. So that's another thing too. So it's a lot going on. So we're gonna move on to different topics. Crazy, a lot going on. All right, so we have Drake's. This is via Rap TV. That Drake removed Blue, Green, Red from his thing. I think that was the song that sounded more islandery. All right, so I'm gonna get off the IG live. If you want to keep listening, you could keep listening on my YouTube. Get on my YouTube. I love you. But yeah, so that is the thing on that. Drake is getting removed from. He removed the song because he didn't clear a sample, and I feel like that's like that'd be the issue. Like, y'all gotta clear these samples. people will put things out and will leak it and put it out just off the strength of who they are. And at the end of the day, like that's not really beneficial. I feel like you got to have all your ducks in a row in your release. You got to have all your stuff like all put together. And because your stuff isn't put together, like that is the end result. So I feel that 1,000%. Like you gotta have things cleared. If you don't have things cleared, people are at free reign to remove it. Like I have no idea why people like feel like, oh, I do what I want. Like, nah, bro, like it don't work like that. It does not work like that at all. Like you got to have stuff, all your ducks in a row. Things will get removed straight like that. The song was only okay though, so I'm sure he's not tripping about it either because it wasn't like the best song ever. So, so he got that song removed, and it's also no longer on the website. Like it's completely removed. It's gone. We don't know what about that. He uses a sample from Steely and Cleavy's "When," sparking a dispute, and then that's why it's not cleared. And then, so yeah, and then so yeah, the dancehall guy said like, "I'm not clearing that. Like, I don't care." So, hey man, you win some, you learn some. Ludacris brought his iconic big arms back for his first pitch at tonight's Braves game. So shout out to him. Shout out to Luda being Luda. Luda's been outside a lot, been moving outside, making a lot of public appearances. I think it's because he either is releasing or has released a tape and is on tour and is trying to get people on for the tour. So again, Ludacris, one of the OGs in the game. He also knows how to make a public appearance and do good promotion. So I wish more people would move like how he moved. He drank the glacier water at the spot and did the promotion. Like he likes to keep things cute and PG. For especially, and I think that's funny because what his music and what it be about. You know what I'm talking about. So if you know, but he also manages to still have a clean public image. Like the balance to that, I feel like needs to be studied, and I feel like more people need to look at how Ludacris moves and try to emulate that in how they move. Like I feel like if the baby moved like Ludacris, bro, he'd be like still like a popping ass artist, but because he ain't know how to move in the public sphere, he fell for that. So W Ludacris. There's another clearing issue. Yeah, y'all people gotta clear y'all records. Y'all got to clear stuff. Starboy refuses to clear. Detroit Lowly's holding it down, say he won't clear nothing ungodly. He said, I ain't clearing ish. He also says, I'm not clearing nothing ungodly for no amount of money. I ain't clear yay ish either. Nobody getting swag. Amen. And that's the power of you. If you are the sample maker, you are the king maker. They got to come to you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him and how you move. I fully support every artist, right, to clear or unclear things that they are comfortable or uncomfortable with. If you want to clear it, cool. No amount of money will get through people's morals. I feel like people be getting things confused, like with things like, hey, if I give you X amount of bread, I'm clearing it. Like, no, not everybody going for that. Not everybody goes for that. You got to actually talk to people. But shout out to Detroit Lonely. He reached he put out more songs for a deluxe edition. And I also feel like that's because of the clearing issue, but also because he wants more sales because of the negative PR he's gotten around his release. So let's see what will happen for that. Let me see. The Weeknd's dropping. Okay, that's cool. Weeknd's dropping. Lil Wayne says the Carter 6 is finished and he's working on the Carter 26. I'm dead. I'm dead. Shout out to Lil Wayne. All Wayne gotta do is be in the studio and we going for
What's up? Come on in. You hear us in the background? That's my motherfucking dog Carton, man. Craig Carton. Shout out Craig. I fucking love you, man. Come to New York and kick with my dog. Smokes up. But I'm in the studio as usual. Just finished working on a couple features. I would tell y'all who it is, but I wouldn't do that and fuck it up. So shout out to those artists, family.
Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to keeping things secret, for there's a thing to the marketing of, hey, I did features, look out for them.
Just want to say good morning. How the fuck are you doing, man? If you're not up, you're fucking down. And if you're down, I'm here to pick you up. What do you say? Huh? It's nothing like a fucking Wheezy. And I'm working on Carter 6. I just want you to know that. Honestly, I'm finished. I was lying. I'm working on Carter 26. I think you already know that.
So all right, boom, we get into Carter 6. That's crazy. All right, so we are going into media games, Billboard games, and how all that plays together. So via Rap TV, Sabrina Carpenter and Travis Scott were battling for who got number one sale this week. I don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is. You know, they try to put out like a new white girl every year, or white passing girl every year in the pop charts. She probably had a real popping single, or she could have been popping for a little bit. I don't know. I'm not into them, but I know that they're head to head for a Billboard, and this is how they do it at a high end level. This is what people do at a high end level to promote their single. So, you know, if you are looking and trying to see how the people do that and what the type of games they play, label versus label, marketing versus marketing, I'm gonna get into that for y'all. Let's go. Yeah, the Ice Spice took it out of me. All right, so August 23rd, bro, Sabrina Carpenter and Travis Scott dropped new music, kicking off what will become an intense race to the top of the charts. As early projections came in, it became clear Sabrina was holding her own against Travis Scott. August 27th, she was slated for number one debut, narrowly ahead of Travis. So keeping the pressure on Travis. 28th, she kept the momentum by releasing a digital version of Short and Sweet with a bonus track. So she gave a bonus release trying to boost sales. Then Travis Scott said, "Dang, again, cooked." On 29th, he released Live from Atlanta and Chopped and Screwed versions of Days Before Rodeo, trying to reclaim number one spot. So, you know, different versions. The power of different versions. Again, re-release your things, put a different bow on it. I promise you, you never know what's going to work. She wasn't done yet. She released another version of Short and Sweet, this time with a bonus track, Busy Woman. So another bonus track. The battle for top spot is more intense than ever. Jazz got doubled down, dropped not one, but three more vault versions of Days Before Rodeo the same day. So different versions, again, multiple different versions of Rodeo, Days Before Rodeo. And then Sabrina wasn't backing down. She released yet another version of Short and Sweet with the track Taste demo to keep. So that means they were in the studio like this is the demo. So they was like in the studio like day by day by day by day by day, trying to get that number one. That's funny. And then the race got closer than anyone anticipated. On September 2nd, reports started circulating that Travis Scott had claimed number one spot a day before the official charts were even released. And then, but in the end, she won with 362K to Travis Scott's 361K by just 600 units. And this is when people start being like, yo, what label button got pressed when the fake streams hit? Because Russ and a lot of other industry people said like everybody has fake streams and everybody kind of pays for it after a certain amount. Like you get the initial push and then to get to the number one spot, people start spending money. So I feel like it started being a spending war at that point. And I think Sabrina's team won at the end by 600, bro. Like who gave out like a couple racks real quick, bro? Like who gave out like 6K real quick and said, nah, we not doing that. We not winning, bro. I feel like somebody did that. Shout out to whoever did that, you know. And then did Travis get robbed? People are saying yes, because I don't think he hit the number one the first time. I feel like it was someone else. So yeah. They say he was almost robbed at gunpoint. I'm dead. That's what I thought when I said he got robbed. I was like, bro, did he get robbed or he got robbed? Okay, so people say he got robbed because of that, but not because of the other thing. So shout out. I feel like it's real important to do these deep dives when it comes to Billboard, because at that high level, it also lets you learn different things you can do as an independent or a smaller artist. Having different versions of your album. I seen shout out to Curtis King talking about how for streaming, he had a certain version for streaming. Like I'm gonna have this type of release for streaming, and he had a different look at album cover and all that too. And then if you go buy his thing on Bandcamp, they have more songs, the cover looks cooler, a different version gives it a different look. So that's something that anybody could do, and I recommend that, you know, other artists explore that, try different versions of their singles, chopped and screwed versions, do the sped up version that again popping on TikTok. Like these are things you can do to create a different look for your release, because it might not be the original song that gets released. I know for certain artists, they get their song remixed by some EDM person, and that is a song that blows up. So that's something to consider. It might not be your first song, bro. It might be like the third chopped and screwed remix version of your song that blows up, and then people already gotta go look back and see the original. So that's something to always keep in mind and keep notice of. So always be able to be creative with your releases and figure out different ways of doing different re-releases, because you never know what's gonna work until it works. So Playboy Cardi avoided questions about his relationship with Uzi and Lil Yachty in a recent Billboard interview. He said, but that's not entirely out of character for him. Throughout our interview, Cardi dodges questions about relatively benign topics too, including his relationship with Uzi and Yachty, two artists that have been involved in his career since self-titled mixtape. Maybe you're just not cool with them. Industry friends aren't really friends for him, man. People be competing and doing all type of stuff, So yeah. Playboy Cardi and Cardo have dubbed their latest sound burnt music. We'll be in the studio like this music is burnt. Okay, so shout out to Cardi Cardi's also doing like very old school versions of PR. He'll either say very cryptic things on Twitter, but he does a lot of like Rolling Stone interviews and Billboard interviews. He's been doing that a lot since these past couple years, since his whole lot of Red. And let me know what y'all think. Are y'all like that? Do y'all not like that? Do you feel like that's cool? I feel like that's a different way of having a certain response, and to be cryptic and to like have a message, because we already know like how Cardi is. Like Cardi is like one of those people, like an old school version of the music industry, where he's like an icon and an idea almost. So him doing that kind of adds mystique versus him being all on social media. So just something to consider. But now that people have the name of the genre for burnt, all the producers finna like tag that in their shit. Like that's finna be the genre. Playboy Cardi's manager discusses working with Cardi in his recent Billboard feature. It's been great to see his success. It's super rewarding because he puts so much into everything he does. Okay, well, WPR for Cardi, and we can't wait to hear a release from him. But do you think Cardi's gonna drop this year? He might drop at like the very end of the year. But y'all think he's dropping this year or not? It's about to be like what, fourth quarter? We're at the end of third quarter, about to be the fourth quarter. Like, so a lot of heavy hitters might release, and some people might save their releases for next year. So we're gonna see like who's gonna release. You're gonna see a lot of people release at the end of the year. So we're gonna see who's gonna release, who's not gonna release. We never know. So something to think and consider. So shout out everybody releasing, posting, and doing their own thing. We're gonna keep it moving. So, there's one talking point I wanted to get off. So, in a rap, I really feel like it's corny when we talk about like the amount of people who like that are just who's like too old. Like we just say, oh, they too old, because we let the rock stars exist. And the older you get and the more cachet you get over time, like the more money you get, like you can command more money on tour. So I just feel like you saying certain things and being like, oh, you're too old for this, you need to boss up, do something else. Well, what if they're like a real musician, or if they're a real performer? Like, what if that's just how they want to make their money? Like, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you give a good experience. I feel like it's because people are associated that with trying to look and act young, quote unquote. But what if it ain't got nothing to do with that? What if it's just about like, I like what I do, I actually genuinely enjoy what I do, and I want to continue to do that? I feel like people should be shamed for doing that. I feel like that is an issue that we got to work on in the hip hop community. Like, let our old heads tour. Because you saw 50 Cent did a crazy sold out show and stuff, being an old head touring. Being an old head touring, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, there's a lot of money to be made doing that. In fact, like people reunion tours, all that. Like, there's a lot. In fact, they sell out a lot more than the younger acts because older people tend to have more money. So I mean, economically, it didn't make sense to do so. People get a big kick off nostalgia too. Like, so that's where it kind of blows me when people do that. Like, I never really understand that, and I feel like that is lame. I feel like that's lame, and I feel like that is hurting the longevity of hip hop. It hurts people. It hurts like opportunities for future people to make money later on when they're like, oh, I'm too old for this. Oh, this is too. That's lame. I feel like we got to get over that because listen, them white people rock stars is we let them rock, and they're still able to tour till like they're 80 and make all the money in the world, and that also boosts their catalog, the value of their catalog, and literally all that. And then when they sell their publishing for 300 million, we're all like, how is this possible? And that's how, it's because they toured for 30 years and they're able to cash out. I don't know, bro. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Open your mind, y'all need to open y'all mind and have a brighter like understanding and a deeper understanding, and then, oh, you're too old, you should shit lame, bro. Y'all lame. Okay, so I say all that to say that this is what I think Rallo and Boosie back and forth. So this is what Rallo had to say. Rallo responds to people upset with him for saying he doesn't want to be 40 or 50 years old rapping and performing like Boosie.
Why in the hell you gonna get mad at me because I said I ain't want to be of a certain age on stage rapping? I ain't say nothing was wrong with the goats going on motherfucking stage rapping and doing their motherfucking thing. I just personally don't want to do it. He might like a red car. I might want a blue car. That don't mean I hate the motherfucking red car. That just simply mean I just prefer the blue car, even though I love red. But however, motherfucker, you can't say everybody on block or Rollo this is this. Man, I ain't diss that motherfucking nigga. Like, hey, have a good time. That's on him. I just don't want, I just choose that when I get that age, I want to be worshiping my Lord. I want to be, deep involved in my religion and in my communities and shit. That ain't what I want to do. I don't want to be doing that type of shit. That's just me, period, home. They ain't dissing on another nigga that's doing it.
I feel that, but I understand that he's saying he's not dissing in WPR for going ahead of the story. More people need to speak up and be like, "Hey, I disagree with this talking point," or "Hey, y'all saying I feel like this. I do not feel like this. This is how I feel." But in general, we know how people feel in the community about like, "Oh, you're 50, already 50 touring," like that. People feel a way about that. People, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like because we consider that to be like lame and not the move, that like we're hating on people that could be making genuine bread. Like you're taking away bread from other people. I feel like that's a lame thing. Like I'm open to perform when I'm older, but I'm also a musician. I'm kind of a little different. But the people that aren't, like, still, like, it's okay, bro. There's old people that still tour. Like, it's okay. All right, so Boosie said, I've not spoken on you in years. You still hurt by what you did. What what you did. LOL. I'm grateful that I'm still making 150K a weekend and selling out shows. You don't have a rap career and will never have one. See now Boosie is going in. See, you ain't got to say all that. All right. And you're right. You should be a CEO because one thing you can't do is make music. Oh, I'm dead. See, that's not nice to say. God didn't give you that talent. Leave hip hop alone. Every other month you mentioning me, SMH, get me off your mind. Stop using my name for clout. You got my line if you want to tell me something. I'm the same guy that did a verse and video for free for you when you was locked up and refused to take the 10K you're trying to pay me. You get no points for ish like this. Anyway, I'm about to listen to these beats and make some music. I just hope you're not doing the same thing. I'm dead. I hope you're not doing the same. That's funny. That's funny. Raul offers to sit down and have a conversation with Boosie. What we gonna do? We gonna have to sit down, or we just gonna eventually go to war? I'll pull up whenever with all my paperwork. So I feel like that's just, two people beefing about nothing. But I just wanted to expand the dialogue to say, like, hey, bro, we need to like have a different conversation about like how we view older acts touring and just expand that. Like we need to expand like doing that. And we need to be more open to our older acts touring because like there's a lane for that. And you saw how 50 Cent was, and you saw how other older acts do when they do the reunion tours. It tends to be very successful when people get into their nostalgia bag. And yeah, just be open to that. That's all I'm saying. Woke up and my Instagram gone. SMH. I haven't said nothing on IG post nothing on Instagram where they come from. This is crazy. Stop letting your folks target me. Hey, go beyond measure silence. This is also after the Ronald thing. I think it's funny, like right after that, his Instagram got taken. Boosie always gets his Instagram taken. Why does he always get his Instagram taken? I think that is funny, bro. That's funny. And then different people doing PR. Bankroll Freddy said booked for jail, got ripped in jail. Annalie Chopper shared a message about love and unity after performing at a Pride event. All right. As a rapper, we've been washed to move opposite of love. As I've grown as an artist, I've learned to appreciate whoever loves your art. I pray this post makes a difference and bring comfort to people to open their mind and heart. We all fight acceptance, no matter who and what your battle. God is love, and love brings unity. I feel like this is the W post. I feel like more rappers should talk about that. I feel like if the baby had put out this post, he would have stopped him from a lot of PR. I feel like there's something to be said about the homophobia in hip hop and how like it's kind of like not helpful due to the fact that there's a lot of just off the purely business and financial and a lot of money be made if you're just accepting the all groups of people. So that's one thing. Number two, we're missing a lot of different perspectives in hip hop too. Like Tyler the Creator and Kevin Abstract and Lil Nas X, we do Lil Nas X dirty. Let's also acknowledge that. Like if hip hop embraced Lil Nas X more, like that's another superstar we could have allowed to exist. And because of how he chose to present himself, we chose to dim him. And I feel like that's a shame. I don't think he does himself any favors by messing with satanic imagery. I feel like once you do that, and once you do that in the Black community, you gonna be shunned. They're not gonna accept you. Like that part. So that's my thing. But outside of that, like we should be like more open to that and just try to grow as a community, because like I feel like being against that isn't really helpful. Like if there's dialogue you want to have about what you agree or disagree with, then make songs about it. Like make the hip hop, like make the songs that spark the conversation to do that. But y'all not doing that, choosing to shun people, and I don't feel like it's helpful. And a rapper like Annalie Chopper doing that, I feel like it goes a long way because he freaky man. So shout out to all my freaks and geeks. Oh, and a great announcement. Young Nudie and Pierre Bourne are releasing Slimier 2 next month. Oh man, I love when Pierre and Nudie are on together, bro. They have such great chemistry. So yeah, I'm excited for whatever beats and songs come out of that, man. I'm at the edge of my seat, man. I'm just so excited. Ooh, lovely. All right. That pretty much covers all the music topics I really wanted to talk about. Outside of that, there are some things here and there, but I don't really care that much. I just like seeing, I was like having like important PR, like talking points like that. Like the Ice Spice thing was a good lesson on PR, like how y'all manage and do PR. Like this is how you do, this is how you act. There's one more maybe. This is like not really important to like anything music related, but I would just say this is how you comport yourself in the public eye, or if you want to be an interview, you want to do media or do a combination of both, like media, music and media. You gotta know how to act. You gotta act like you've been there before. And I feel like this is a good example of, hey, you gotta act like you've been there before and be respectful to other people. Like, like if you're doing a interview with somebody giving you opportunity and this person is giving you their time, I feel like it's very important to be respectful to them. All right. I say that in reference to this Ari like street interview. Let's get into it.
I saw Kristen on here with.
I already done.
Hey, look, can you rate my drip like 1 through 10? This is something slight. You know what I'm saying? Real pressure, though.
Okay, I give you like an 8.
A 10?
I give you 8.
A 10.
My homegirl said, ain't you?
I had a 10. I like you, too. So, look, would you date a dude dressed like this?
No.
Yeah, I date you, too. So, look, can you like a 360 for the camera?
Absolutely not.
One time for the camera? For the culture.
Yeah, I feel like he was being thirsty. And then also, like, bro, just take the 8. 8 not bad, bro. You gotta take the 8. That's a positive reaction. And then you're gonna be like, oh, would I date you? You know, she got the super nigga Moneybag Yo as her nigga. Like, so, like, why would she even entertain that? Like, there's no reason for her to entertain that. And then you talking over her. Like, this is what I be talking about with the clout chasing, man. Y'all gotta chill out. So this is not the way I would comport myself. If I was gonna do a street interview with Ari, I would not ask her to turn around. I'd probably ask her about like is Moneybag Yo dropping or if she gonna drop some music or something. I don't even know if Ari rap, but I would just ask like what you doing, and then I'd probably ask her about her fashion and her fit and how she always has her outfits on point where she shops at. You know, different shit like that. Like just treat a person like a person, bro. Like, see, I feel like you was being real dehumanizing, just asking her to turn around and all this shit for the camera. Like, she has no reason to do that. And whenever she chooses to like show or reveal her like throwing some, it's like literally her and her friends. Like, I've never seen her do that just for like paparazzi or people outside of like her and her friends or her mans and stuff. So, you know,
I said no.
and she said no. She said you didn't honor the no. She took the no. You're trying to pressure her to do it. Like that's weird. I don't feel like you gotta do that. Take that, old dude.
Next question.
Can I saw
And look, see, and then after that, she's like, "All right, come on." Like, see, she's already over with.
That's it. Do your next question.
And she was even open to continue to do the. Her friends were trying to get her out the shit. She was even open to continuing the interview to let you know, like, you could have really apologized and saved face. And I don't know.
I want to do a 360.
And wow, and you chose to triple down on the three. Yo, this guy is lost, bro. This dude is thirsty and lost, bro. She even offered you to continue the interview. You could have apologized and be like, hey, I mean disrespect for you. We can move on, do the interview, and do something else. I feel like this be cloud chase after this. Like, why would you continue why would you continue to do this interaction like this after the fact? Like, this is what we like to call lack of home training. Who raised you? All that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I be feeling when I see different clips like this. Cause you know, you gotta act like you've been around the baddies before, bro. And this person commented, my thing is, y'all know his content, all his videos is like this. She knew what she was gonna ask. Just don't do the interview. That's fair too. She could have declined the interview, but dude also could have been a little less thirsty too. You know, that's a combination of both.
I said no, so it's next, right?
Yeah.
You do a 360. Look at that. Wait, move. You do a 360.
Oh, let me
Nah,
see.
shake that.
Let me see.
No, shake that.
Now she's telling her to throw it. See. Look, now we're in hell. See, she felt disrespected, so now she feels like she has to return disrespect. And you know, she from Chirac, she don't play that, bro. So, dang, man.
Shake that. All right.
Can it clap?
Can what clap?
That.
What? You can clap your ear. What? That's it. Do
Yeah, see, look at that. See, hey, man. You gotta respect people's boundaries. She was said no and she was uncomfortable with it. So I mean, it was up to Ari. She could have just said no, but it was also on him. You know, she wasn't going for it. She could have just said no. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that as another talking point, like how people would be doing with the current content. A lot of content in our community, hip hop adjacent and Black community, has kind of been over sexualized. We're kind of in hell with that. We're kind of like the 20v1 interview content, like that whole space. It's kind of been played out. I feel like we need to progress past this and go back to making genuine content. I'm even open to like the King Bats get people coming back. Let's bring him back to the cookout, bro, because this is outrageous. This is getting out of hand. I feel like it's detrimental. It's not helpful and it's not good content. It gets engagement. If you want to make money, do it for money, okay. But like, I just don't feel like it's good for us. You know, not good for us. All right, so that's all I have to say to y'all. Stop cloud chasing, do better. You know, let all these lessons I talk about on my podcast let you know that, hey, learn about the media, learn about marketing. Look at how the ways your different artists, your favorite artists market, how they choose to present themselves, and what is your takeaway from this? And if you are in the entertainment industry, let me know some takeaways you could get from this. Let me know how you feel about the things talked about and how you feel. All right, if you want to support me, you know, you can give me some love, cash apps, love, listen to my tunes, or give me a like, a subscribe, and all that. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a lovely day. I shall see you. You're the best, and Tune is the doctor of the tunes. And you've been tuned in to Tune TV.